Now, to the biggest story in the sports world, the 6 quarterbacks on the Cleveland Browns. Let's get to it, DeMonze.
Yeah, so the Browns have officially released their quarterback hierarchy, and it goes as follows: with Flacco as number 1, Pickett number 2, Gabriel at number 3, and Shedeur, your guy, at number 4. And so they're bringing in Snoop Huntley because of injuries to Gabriel and Pickett. You wanted to lead with the show with this. Why is that?
Okay, so here is what is so interesting about where I have found myself with the Shedeur Sanders conversation. Before the draft, I was one of the biggest skeptics. If you remember, I said almost immediately that I did not think there was any real, which quarterback's going to go first overall debate. It was Cam Ward, clearly and unequivocally. I then also talked about how I thought there was a very real chance that the Pittsburgh Steelers would be able to draft Shedeur without trading up. In one of my very first mock drafts, back when Shedeur was mocked and going top 5, I had him sliding all the way to Pittsburgh. Then when in the 20s, this is all pre-draft, when the reports came out that Pittsburgh was flatly just going with Aaron Rodgers, I said on the TV show and on this show, sorry, I just rolled over Dexter, on the TV show and on this show, that I thought it was a very real possibility Shedeur slid out of the first round entirely. And I was discussing how I did not think that was because of personality stuff. Now, maybe I was wrong about that, but I thought everyone was focused on Shedeur the person when I thought Shedeur the player just wasn't a dominant player the way some people thought he was. That was my pre-draft take. My pre-draft take is good, not great athlete, not a super strong arm, like that. I didn't know that he was a blue chipper. Those are still all my takes on Shedeur, by the way. But what's happened in Cleveland, he then ends up going to a team where the quarterback options are the second oldest quarterback in football, Joe Flacco, an injured first-round bust in Kenny Pickett, a wee little fella in Dylan Gabriel, and him. And so the point I made on last week's pod was the only guy on the roster with actual upside, even if it's very small, is Shedeur. And since then, all Dylan Gabriel has done is have awful practice after awful practice where the beat writers covering the team are talking about how you almost feel badly for him, and gotten hurt. Kenny Pickett has also gotten hurt. So here's why I want to talk about the Snoop Huntley thing. So the Browns play Friday night. It looks like DeMonze, Pickett, and Gabriel are not going to be able to play. Okay? So those snaps are gone. Flacco's 100. I would imagine they never planned on him playing preseason game 1. So the only quarterback they've got is Shedeur. So if that's why they signed Snoop Huntley, just because they need you want to be able to run your offense even in the preseason game so other guys get reps, and what if something happens to Shedeur or something like that, so be it. That's fine. That there's no issue with that. But Snoop Huntley should not be taking more than 5 practice snaps from Shedeur, and the plan for Friday should be whatever you want to do with Flacco, you do, whether that's play him one series, Flacco's their starting quarterback and going to be their starting quarterback, and they don't want to just punt the season before the season starts, even though their depth chart, have you seen, the Browns' offensive depth chart is something to be, you just stare at it. Right now, it's Flacco at quarterback, David Njoku, who's a very nice player at tight end. Jerome Ford's their starting running back. Cedric Tillman, Jamari Thrash, and Jerry Jeudy are their top 3 receivers, with Deontay Johnson being their number 4. And an offensive line of DeJuan Jones, Joel Bitonio, Ethan Pochik, Wyatt Teller, and Jack Conklin as their offensive line. It's impossible. So we know they're going to be bad, but they don't want to say off the top they're going to be bad. So be it. So whatever you think you need to do to have Flacco ready, you do. After that, Shedeur Sanders should play the entirety of that preseason game if Gabriel and Pickett are hurt. There is no reason whatsoever on Friday for Snoop Huntley, who is right now the 6th quarterback on the Browns roster, because Deshaun's on the roster. I know he's not playing. For Snoop Huntley to get a single snap, and again, this is not a knock on Snoop Huntley, who sneakily has a Pro Bowl to his name and started a playoff game for your Baltimore Ravens, a couple years ago. And I'm glad Huntley's getting another look. This, I promise, it's not an indictment on Snoop. But this is the opportunity to see how Shedeur looks in a big sample against a live defense. And there are local Browns fans and media have gotten a little conspiratorial about what the team does and doesn't like about Shedeur's whatever it is. And are they trying to kind of, slow his progress? Is it weird because the coaches didn't want him, but the owner did? I don't know.
You don't think they're getting ready to trade him or anything? There's something lurking.
So if that's the case, then that's even more of a reason to showcase him.
Right.
Here's one that I find interesting and that I think actually could be a best case scenario for Shedeur. Best case. If I'm Shedeur, I am hoping beyond hope I get 3 quarters, maybe the whole game. Because if Flacco's not going to play, then Shedeur in theory should play the entire game.
Yeah.
That I look decent, and that the Los Angeles Rams call the Browns. And the Los Angeles Rams call the Browns so I can be their 3rd string quarterback. As odd as that sounds. Because that's right. The Rams story right now is Matt Stafford's got a bad back. And that is really concerning. And their backup quarterback, while a fine backup quarterback, has his own injury concerns, which is Jimmy Garoppolo. If I'm Shedeur and I can getting to Los Angeles, no, there will be no media attention should he be the starter? Stafford's there. And for the Rams, it gives you a chance to maybe have a answer at quarterback, even if it's a long shot. And again, I've never believed Shedeur's a surefire NFL starter, but he's got a shot. Have an answer at quarterback after this year if this does end up being Stafford's last year. And maybe more importantly, not more importantly, but equally important as to why you would do this trade now rather than the offseason, whatever it is. If Stafford, isn't ready for the start of the season, because yesterday McVay was talking about Stafford and he's doing some light cardio. He's walking around. What? That's not great. So let's just say Stafford's not available the very beginning of the season, and let's say Jimmy Garoppolo gets clocked during week 1. Then all of a sudden you're staring at Stetson Bennett. And so, even if it's just a little short-term gap starter, and we saw McVay get Baker ready in 1 day for a start. He could have. So I do hope that, and if you're the Browns, if you spent a 5th on Shedeur and just trade him for a 4th, you won. It's great job. That's great. great process. You know what I mean? So, but I say all that to say, I am not a conspiracy theorist. But if we get this Browns practice report and Snoop Huntley was taking a lot of reps, and on Sunday, Shedeur plays a half and Snoop plays a half, that's my conspiracy theorist at 10A will pop up as Wilds does on TV. Because that makes no sense for anyone involved. So that's why I wanted to lead with the Browns. I'm actually fascinated by it. We also, we don't really have quarterback competitions this year, except for the saddest one ever in Indy. With Anthony Richardson and your guy, guy Anthony Richardson and your guy Daniel Jones. So
I think Daniel Jones is winning that battle right now.
It seems like it. Oh, the Saints as well. You know what? I tend to forget the Saints are an NFL team this year. And I think that one is sadder. By the way, you want to know an unbelievable fact that I want to make sure is a fact before I say it? So the Saints, yeah, it is a fact, and by a lot, actually. The Saints quarterback battle is Spencer Rattler, Jake Haener, and their second-round pick, Tyler Shuck.
Oh, yeah.
Tyler Shuck, who was their second-round pick this year, DeMonze, you're going to laugh at this, is 8 months older than Trey Lance.
Yes.
Think about that. He's 8 months older than Trey Lance, who, by the way, shout out Trey for a nice little
on the
Hall of Fame game. Still, though, he just needs to get, Trey just turned 25. So, he's been in the league forever. But again, he's younger than a second-round pick this year, which is so weird. Also, the Saints, what are you doing? DeMonte, what year did you graduate high school?
2017.
So Tyler Shuck, who was the Saints draft pick this year, he graduated in 2018. He's won. And he's just he finished college 4 months ago. That's long as it takes. Long college career.